two new members to the commission, Logan Bertram and Alex Sipple, and we'll let them say a little more about themselves later on in the meeting. Introduce themselves, let you know who they are a little bit. So roll call. Logan Bertram.
Here.
Alex Sipple.
Here.
Shelley Wolf.
Here.
Aaron Crawford.
Here.
Willem Govey.
Here.
And Bill West. And we have a quorum. And so first item on the agenda is to approve last week's minutes. We'll approve the agenda first, excuse me. The agenda as is any comments on that? Or do we accept it as is? Any objections? None. So we'll just accept the agenda unanimously. So we'll go with the agenda we have. And move on to the number 4, the approval of minutes from February 14th, 2024. They're in your packet in front of you, and I will give you a few minutes to review them and make comments if you have any, or ask questions. Then we'll move on to vote on the minutes.
I'll move to approve the meeting minutes.
So we have a motion to approve the meetings minutes. Do anybody have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any opposed or comments? The motion passes and we'll accept the minutes as are. Next on the agenda is a toll update by Brian Reed, Assistant Codes Administrator and our Project Manager for the toll building.
Hello, everybody. We will start with what's been going on the outside of the building. The roof on the side closest to the pavilion has been installed now. Porch columns have been installed since we last met. The 2 new rear doors have been installed. And then on the inside of the building, we've been limited as to how many people we could have in due to all the floor covering going down and the prep for the floor covering. Still made quite a bit of progress. The new plank flooring, which is a majority of the building, it's been installed. The floor for the storage areas and the piano room, is that what we're calling it, Donna? The piano room have been prepared or still being prepared for new floor covering, still doing some filling and leveling. The roll-up shutter between the warming area and the main conference room has been installed. The cabinets have been installed in the small meeting room. The bathroom stalls, which were on site last month, they've now been installed. The vanity tops in the new bathrooms have been installed, and the interior trim work and painting is continuing. The installation of the HVAC equipment is complete now, and the only real unexpected item we've had is we found some screws in existing gas lines. They've been there, it appears, since original construction. One was leaking when we tested before we turned on new equipment. I think we've got 4 or 5 tech screws into a black iron gas pipe. So Didn't find it till late, but we're working on getting that gas line repaired and replaced. But that was pretty much the only unexpected item.
Any questions for Brian? Brian, we thank you. As always, a thorough report, and look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing you next time. Thank you. The sixth item will be the director's report by Donna Angel, and I think it outlines in your packet in front of you.
First of all, please allow me to say thank you and welcome to our 2 new commissioners. We're delighted to have them, as well as their experience that they bring to the table for us. So we know that they're going to be a great addition to our tourism work in our community, and with great incentives of ideas and concepts that will flow with tourism. We're extremely pleased to have Logan, and we'll talk a little bit about himself maybe later, but Logan is the owner of Bert's Speak Cheesy in Old Town, a brick and mortar restaurant. If you haven't been there, you should be. The sandwiches are wonderful and giant, and just a great atmosphere in there, and it's going to be a great convening space, I think, for a lot of the Berea College area, as well as locals and everyone around. So it'll be a great addition to Old Town, and we're very glad you chose Old Town to start your restaurant in, and we appreciate that greatly. And next up, we have Mr. Alex Sipple. Alex has Get Outside Kentucky, and he also has a store location in the old weaving building behind the Log House Craft Gallery. And Alex does a lot of outdoor adventure pieces with tourism and other events that are going on in our city, as well as Owsley Fork, a lot of different things for the Berea College out there as well, and doing much more in his retail store now of bicycles, repair work, the electric bikes, of which we often forget about what a great role that they play in our community, and that we're exceptional to have those here. So thank you, Alex, for what you do for tourism here in Berea. Before I start, I do want to take a moment to, he isn't here with us today, but to extend a very grateful thank you to Mr. Rick Thomas, our past commissioner. Mr. Thomas's term expired, and he was with us as a restaurant person as per our guidelines for the KSR statutes. And Rick has served probably going on 9 years with us on the commission, and he brought a lot of heartfelt passion and knowledge to our group, and has helped us through several building projects and other ideas. When we started the pavilion, Rick was totally on hands with that to see us through the structure of building that all the way front to end, as Brian has been that way with us on the toll renovations that we have up there for the new Berea Gallery. Rick will always be here. He hasn't gone anywhere, and he still will always be a great friend to tourism and support us in whatever ways is necessary. And we certainly want to recognize him for his contribution to our community through our tourism department. And he's always been the first one to sign up to be a part of everything that we did. And we will greatly, greatly appreciate all the work that he has given to us. Moving on, I'll start with USA Today. So I've had a lot, I know the ladies have probably had a lot of calls on that too, but we did come in number 6, and someone had emailed me and wanted to know what the category was of where we stood out of the 20 of USA Today for the Choice Awards, Reader's Choice Awards of Best Small Town Art Scenes. Lucas, Kansas came in number 1, Tubac, Arizona 2nd, Abingdon, Virginia 3, Homer, Alaska 4, Saugatuck, Michigan 5, Berea, Kentucky number 6. Carmel by the Sea was number 7. I just can't believe we beat Carmel by the Sea, but it tickles me to death. That's wonderful. That's such a beautiful place. Manitou Springs, Colorado, number 8. Eureka Springs, Arkansas, 9. And number 10 was Cody, Wyoming. And again, these were all best art scene towns, small art scene towns across the nation. So to be considered number 6 and win number 6 out of 20 maybe it was, is really an honor. So I don't have the numbers. I think the mayor is the one that shared with me that we also, I haven't gotten a report on it, that we came in number 1 on Newsweek magazine across the nation for the best small art scene towns as well. So once we get that information, then we want to share that great information for all 10 that were elected in that as well. The Louisville Journal, I want to talk about a lot of the magazines that are currently writing about us. I mean, it is really amazing, the writers that are picking up stories on us. And of course, you know, when you're in Newsweek magazine and USA, how much bigger can you get to get noticed? So the Louisville Journal put out this week, I think it was this week, 7 places that you really wanted to visit and see in Kentucky. So again, we came in number 3 as Berea. Bardstown number 1, Bellevue 2, Berea 3, Danville 4, Hodgenville 5, Versailles 6, and Murray was number 7. So that's quite a great piece. Another great article that came out, this one came out last week, and that was Best Hikes in Kentucky by Outside Online, which was a great article on the Berea Pinnacles. And again, the Pinnacles are such a historical piece of Berea. It's astounding to see how that just continues to grow with the outdoor piece of everything as well. So that's quite an honor to continue to have our trails marked so beautifully and done so well there. Tasting tables, I just want to touch a bit on that. We did announce that last week on our tourism Facebook page, but Katie Startzman with Native Bagel was recognized as the number 1 Kentucky best bagel store in Kentucky. This was a nationwide best nagel and bagel. I've got nagel written here. Bagel across the nation. So that's quite a great story to share. I can't say enough about Katie's hard work that she has put in her business and invested into that as shop owners, small business entrepreneurs should. And she just did a fabulous job of through COVID and still climbing, and from her great history all the way up of how she started in her home. You know, it's a great story. That was pretty good, but then I think it was today that someone shared with me an article where Katie was also recognized as small town big art scene through Garden and Gun magazine with her bagels as well again. So that's great to have that kind of personality in our community and to be recognized that by Garden and Gun, one of the biggest magazines out there that every artist, creative person wants to be in. So that was really wonderful there. We had another great article that was published about Berea, the top 15 attraction areas in Berea that everyone should see when they come here. And that's another good sign of just all that we have going on. In our last meeting, we talked about how one of the things the community wanted to hear more is what is going on in the community, what events are being shared, and things like that. So I think we're doing an awesome job of trying to spread that more, share that more through our social media, but through the community local events too. Someone commented and complimented Becky Brown yesterday in a meeting for her taking the step to step above and reaching out consistently to the merchants here in town to see what are you doing in your store, what can we market for you, what can we share with the community so they know what you're doing. So that's a never-ending thing. We just got to keep plugging away with that. But the 12 things that the article was written about that you wanted to see when you come to Berea was the Kentucky Artisan Center, the Berea Pinnacles, the Berea Welcome Center train station came in number 3, Berea College, Spotlight Playhouse Theater, Union Church, Todd's Antique Mall, Student Crafts on the Square, Boone Trace Marker, Tater Knob Pottery, Berea Art Council, and the Artisan Village District. So that's a pretty good summary of all of Berea that we have to offer there. We love it. The publicity's great. It takes a lot to keep a town noticed and viable. So I think all the writers out there, we're just very, very appreciative of all the writings that they do about us. Right Place Media, we will have, as you know, January and February are really dead months for our city, so we do not do paid advertising during those months. Danny always explained to us in our numbers reports when she was giving them that we're down on followers or down on likes because we don't do a lot of the paid advertising in those 2 months. Our biggest shopping district, that is vacation time for a lot of people that close down their stores in January and February. So it is not a viable thing for us to continue to pay our marketing. So we push heavily for March, April, and May to kick into the spring, which Becky will talk a little bit more later on, our spring advertising that we're getting ready to do locally here as well. But anyway, the Lane Report reached out to us, and the month of April will be tourism month across the state. So they have and will be doing a huge layout of tourism across Kentucky. So we will have a great story written about us in there as well as an ad. 2 ads I think we'll have. Thomas Construction, I'll move on to that. We completed the roofing on the cabin in Old Town. It looks fabulous. They're extremely pleased with it, and the service was top notch. We had no issues whatsoever, and they did a good clean job, kept it clean as they worked on it all the time. Had no issues whatsoever. So it looks really attractive down there, and I'm glad we got that finished. Some of you met with us on Sam's engineering for the old hotel there. That was a good visit, I thought, very encouraging. I don't think anything was that we couldn't do anything there. Everything is a doable, fixable situation. So we just will be waiting to hear more from some of their contractors of what they think that it would be once we let them know what we want to do with it, more of what they feel the cost might be on doing some type of renovation in there. But it is something that we could continue to rent out during the lack time of not having it, the construction process starting or so forth. So that will be something we'll keep on the books as we move forward. Our amended budget was approved at the last city council meeting, so that was wonderful to hear. Update on our flower pots for Old Town Broadway through that area. Spoke with the gentleman today. So they are going to go ahead and start production on all of those. We decided that concrete pots are going to outlive wood pots, and so forth. So I look forward to having those around the city to where they're just attractive and we don't have to worry about constantly keeping up the paint, the stain, and repairing the works on. And nothing wrong with what we had. We got 20 good years out of all of those, and that was a great thing there. But hopefully the flower pots will carry us another 20, 30 years. The street light banners, we have those on the books, so we hope if next week's warm and pretty that we will start getting up the Old Town banners that go on the street lights, and the merchants will get their open door banners as well. We are ready, just waiting on 2 sign companies to kind of give us some quotes on changing out our wrap on the existing burgundy and yellow signs that we have around town as our wayfinding signs. We now want to match that up with all of our new berry and aqua colors to create a new look for our town. What we have is done wonderful and has served a great purpose, but in life, like everything else, we have to change and keep that trendy look going so that we have fresh new looks all the time. So we hope to get it up by Easter and everything will look very attractive. We will not have our flowers out. We wait till the first frost. Several people have called about that already. Last year it got really warm before we got them out, but we still have a frost before we get them. We try to hold off to Mother's Day a week to plant them so that the cold weather is done and gone, so we don't have wasted dollars and frozen flowers there. So we're starting to work on the selection of all of those and get the orders placed for that as well. The cabin lawn sign, the burgundy and yellow that sits in the cabin lawn down there, that section will be the first area that we will be changing out the wrap on the existing signs. That is where motor coach buses pull and park. That is the shopping district. That is the first thing that people see when they hit Broadway, Adams, and Jefferson, Washington, in that immediate area. So we want to get that area cleaned and ready to go for spring and summer as quickly as we can on that area. And that is all I have for today. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. I put in your packet several of the articles that we were written about, so in your leisure time, please feel free to read them, because it's always good to know about the writers, who's writing about us, where they're from, what state they're writing about from. So that's always good information to have. So, okay.
Any questions? All right, thank you, Donna. We appreciate it. We'll move on to our staff reports and leadership reports and staff. Start with the operations manager, Nancy Conley.
Thank you. Welcome, new commissioners. We're happy to have you. I'm Nancy Conley with the Berea Tourism Commission. Each meeting I share with the commission the visitor number count. For the month of February, we had 555 visitors. These are walk-in visitors to the Berea Welcome Center. We have a reception staff team that answers our phone calls there as well, and they've answered 106 phone calls last month. So, in looking at those numbers in your packet, you have a comparison chart where you can see from years past. You will notice that compared to last year, we are down a little bit, but compared to the previous 2 years before that, we have increased our number for February. We are excited. We've started planning June 15th in Berea. It is our annual L&N Day. Our L&N Day consists of model trains on our back or throughout our Berea Welcome Center, which, as Donna stated, is the number 3 on the top 15 things to do. So we're excited about that. We love our Berea train station, and we are currently working on getting our model train up and running again and doing some maintenance on that, because it's always in that top 5 for the attractions in the area, so we're excited. But for L&N Day, we'll have that train up and going. On the back platform, there'll be lots of different train-related vendors selling items. We'll have a car show down the street from us, working with the Berea Volunteer Fire Department on organizing that. On Jefferson Street, a lady will be having a Kentucky native flower plant sale there at Memorial Park. And up at College Square around the Log House Craft Gallery, it will be their first summer solstice craft festival, and they are looking for art and craft vendors for that festival. On the Log House Craft Gallery Facebook page, you can find information out about joining that festival if you have any friends that might be interested, or yourself in applying. More details on our L&N Day and car show will be out soon. We've got some upcoming planning meetings to get it all kind of rolled out. At our Berea Welcome Center, we are finishing up some of our brochure inventory. So we started this project last year, really looking at what information we're going through each year, how much of each pamphlet, what different communities have put out new information that we can share in our Welcome Center. So we're evaluating all of that. We participated in a brochure exchange at the Bluegrass Tourism Region meeting last month. So we're excited to for all of the communities to save shipping costs, come together and kind of trade and exchange brochures. So we have a lot of new brochures from other communities that will be on display soon for everyone to pick up if they're interested. One of our goals, obviously, is to promote Berea, but also to keep people in our region and then in our state as long as possible. Of course, being tourism, we want everybody to enjoy our area and what there is to see and do around us. Last month, I worked with Ms. Donna Angel. We completed our EDA expense report and submitted all of the justifications for that to the state. As I mentioned, we are working on maintenance of our model train inside the center. We do that annually. There's a new project. So Donna had mentioned flower boxes and plants, and as she said, we're looking forward to having some new flower boxes around the Artisan Village. A lot of our wood ones are dated and needing some maintenance. So we're going to start working on staining and some upkeep on those flower boxes. We started cleaning them out today because it's beautiful. Today and tomorrow are gorgeous days, although I heard there might be some snow coming this weekend. But so we did start some of the flower box maintenance today. Last year there were 7 bicycle flower boxes added throughout Berea, and a couple of our staff members, Robert and Charlena, came up with this great idea to create a program, and it's Adopt a Bike Planter. So there are 7 bike planters. They came up with quite a program, and so businesses or individuals that are interested may adopt a bike planter. There's 5 left. They've already adopted out 2 of the 7. You'll get a certificate of adoption, and there'll be a wood plaque on the bicycle with your name or your business name, showing that you have adopted that bike, and just kind of honoring your time spent on taking care of that bike all season. So if anybody's interested in those 5 remaining bikes that are available for adoption, let us know. The group tour segment, I'm really excited, and you'll get to hear from Miss Emily here soon, but I'm really excited to have her on our team. These last few months, I've been working on our group tour planning area of our tourism business, and to date, we have over 30 bookings for the 2024 season, and that's with 13 different companies. So some of the companies have booked multiple tours with us. And for 2025, excuse me, we have 13 bookings so far for 2025. This beginning of March, I attended Heartland Travel Showcase. It was in South Bend, Indiana, and I was able to attend that with Miss Emily Reynolds. We had a wonderful time selling Berea to all the motor coach owners and operators, and I'm sure she'll have more to tell you about that experience that we had. February, we had lots of children come and visit our train station, Kingdom Kids. We are a field trip destination for pre-K and kindergarten age school children. And later this month, or at the end of April, we'll have Sunshine Friends bring their school kids down. And then we also this year will be adding the Berea Community School kindergarten classes. There'll be 4 classes that will be coming to tour our station at the beginning of May. That's my report for you all. Do you have any questions for me? No. Thank you.
Nope.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate that. All right, next up is our program manager, Liz Todd. Liz?
Hi, I'm Liz Todd. I'm the program manager. Welcome. So glad you all are joining us. I'm sure you'll be a great asset to our commission. Just want to start out kind of the basics of what we've been working on Learn Shops wise. The first thing is our spring Learn Shops. So we have some coming up next weekend, March 22nd and 23rd. It's going to be a small weekend, but we have some new offerings that we're really excited about. One of those is with Jason Sturgill, and it's a mixed media class. If you've not gotten a chance to look at some of the images online on Eventbrite, it is an alcohol marker, and it's a ink and watercolor class. It's an alcohol marker. Anyway, it's an ink and watercolor class, and I've got all the mediums in my head. No, it's an ink and alcohol. Oh my gosh, it's an ink and watercolor class, and it's just stunning work. If you've never seen it done, the contrast between the two is phenomenal. And my team was actually able to go to Kentucky Crafted this past weekend and see Jason in action with a lot of his pieces, and he's just phenomenal. We made that connection with Jason during our KEDC program that we've been working on all year since September. He is one of the educators that actually attended one of our Learn Shops that we hosted for that program, and we met him through that. Very talented artist, so I'm excited to have him offer that this month, and then he'll be back in July with a lithograph class, a printing class where you can actually carve on acrylic and make these amazing prints. So that's something that we've not offered during my tenure here, so I'm very excited about that, as well as additional mixed media classes, sketchbook offerings, oil pastels, some really neat, new, fun ideas that people can really kind of get into and learn from the base up. So that'll be really interesting. And then we also have our classes in April, and then we've really just kind of dived into working on the Festival of Learn Chops, which is July 22nd through the 30th. We're very excited about that. We already have over 25 proposals that have been kind of vetting and going through. We have 7 new artists so far, so that's always a plus. And we'll kind of talk with them and kind of work through what they're offering and see if it's a good fit and make sure we have each specific medium filled as people have expressed interest. Some exciting news that some people have been asking for is our stained glass artist, Nikki Noel, will be returning for this year's festival. And the first time I talked to Nikki, I'll just share everyone's love for Berea. She says every time she visits, she lives in Ohio, she says, I just want to live in Berea. It just smells different here. I love it. So, anyway, we love Nikki. She's a fabulous stained glass artist, and her classes sold out, I think 3 times. We kept having to add sessions last summer. So she's actually going to teach for 5 days because that's the need, that's the demand. So we're pumped to have her back, along with some of our other regular, very talented artist instructors, as well as some new ones. We've booked a barbecue truck and some really amazing face painters to come out on July 27th and join us for a concert at the Pavilion. And that will just kind of celebrate our 12th annual event, and also give the community a chance to come out for some fun and socializing and fun art. As far as our KEDC Learn Shops partnership, I know it's something I talk about a lot because it takes a lot of my time in a very good way, but it has definitely been my passion project through this year and through May. We just finished up a class on Saturday at the Appalachian Center at Berea College campus. We had around 60 participants come. They stayed overnight at Boone Tavern. They ate in our restaurants. They got to visit our city, and we actually let them out an hour early of their class on Saturday, so they had even more time to browse and walk around Berea before they had to go back to their specific districts and towns across Kentucky. We had Bill Berryman taught a class for us about Shaker Village and the architecture and how it incorporates with the architecture across Kentucky. And the Appalachian tie-in, the main Appalachian tie-in was, I don't know if you know this, I didn't know this until Saturday, but the majority of the brooms, actually all of the brooms that are made that are at Shaker Village now come from Berea. So that was very interesting, and I didn't know that. If you're not familiar with Bill Berryman's work, please look him up. He's a very talented, he draws with pencil and then watercolor artist. Very, very talented. And then he will return in July to teach for us, as he has for about 4 years, for our festival. And then on March 30th, we will have another very exciting session. It'll be a day of kind of history in Appalachia. We're just going to kind of dig our heels in with Octavia Sexton. She is an amazing Appalachian storyteller, historian, comedian, just speaks from the heart and inspires people. She does a lot in the classrooms. She's going to share her knowledge of jack tales, which is a way of teaching children to kind of work through different issues, whether it's in their home or the classroom, and also how to create an amazing story around the protagonist, Jack. Becky interviewed her on the 5th. I'll let her talk a little bit more about that, but we had an amazing day sitting down with Octavia for several hours, and she just shared her life with us and her love of Berea. And again, I'll let Becky get more into that. We'll also have Appalachian basket making class with Jan Treesh. Some of her work is on display at the Artisan Center. Her napkin basket, if you want to see her work, she's wonderful. And then we'll also have Sharon Graves, who is the president of the Madison County Historical Society, and she will be teaching a 1-hour session on history in your own backyard and how to encourage students to really kind of look at their surroundings, their own towns, their own cities, to learn more about history and shape their own story, to kind of get off their phones, get off technology, and create a compelling project with found items that they can actually identify in their own space. So that should be very interesting as well. She's very intelligent and talented, and we look forward to working with her. We'll also have classes in April, and those will end in May. We have been very lucky to have all those students and administrators come to Berea every month, if not multiple times a month, and just fall in love with Berea. You know, people that live right down the road had never, didn't know the story of Churchill Weavers, or had never, didn't know Native Bagel existed. So it's very neat to be able to share these pieces of Berea that we kind of take for granted as these very amazing gems. They're able to take back to their individual districts and plan their weekends and their trips to our town. Been working a lot with Becky Brown. She's been a wonderful addition to our team. We're so lucky to have her. We have been working on a schedule to coincide with the Festival of Learn Shops. And essentially what that's going to look like in theory is kind of like a pocket-sized, maybe something with a QR code for all of our attendees to kind of reference as things to do in the evenings, or maybe a sunrise walk or different things. So far we have we definitely are going to invite them to Jammin' on the Porch with Donna Lamb and Lewis Lamb, and we're going to do a stargazing evening. So we have a lot of fun events for our attendees who are traveling from out of state, some out of country, to do while they're not doing their traditional 1, 2, 3 hour sessions of classes. So very excited about that as well. Let's see. We had a team leadership and planning meeting with our core team at Historic Boone Tavern. Thank you for hosting us, Aaron. It was a lovely day. And we had the opportunity to travel to Frankfurt and meet with Kentucky State Representative Wesley about some projects that he was interested in, and share a little bit more about tourism and what we're all about. So we'll continue to plan and organize for the festival and for the Berea Craft Festival and L&N Day and all the fun things we have coming up, as well as the Spring Learn Shops. Any questions you have for me? I know that's a lot of content and kind of a short amount of time. Can I address anything or answer any questions?
All right. There's no questions for Liz. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so
Very
much.
thorough. Our next is our group tour planner. We welcome Emily Reynolds.
Hello, for those of you who do not know me yet, my name's Emily and I am the group tour planner for Berea Tourism. And I am fairly new to this position. I'm on my 4th week, but that being said, I have a lot to talk about today. So my first week here with Berea Tourism, it was really working with Nancy to prepare for the conference we had coming up, the Heartland Showcase in South Bend, Indiana. And we also went around to a lot of the shops in Old Town, our artisan village, to meet some of the artisans. That day, a lot of them were closed, but I got to meet Connie and Tony Adams from the Family Tree, and Tim and Tiffany Wade from the Cabin, and Jerry Lou and Terry, along with Mary from Weaver's Bottom, and Michelle from Weston Glass, and then Bob and Judy with the Lindsay Gallery. We also, Nancy and I, also had a lunch meeting with Abby Crow and Miranda Gooch, who are with Boone Tavern, and so we just wanted to establish a relationship between them and I, and also to speak about what Boone Tavern commonly offers to tour groups and the accommodations they have for the large buses. So that was a lot of fun, and we thank them for hosting us there as well. I also was able to attend a planning session for the craft festival, so that was really interesting to be able to see how that operates as my first time. And so we spoke about the different applications that were submitted and the money received on that. Danny touched up on that, so that was nice and interesting again to see how everything operates. And my second week with tourism was more of just preparing for that conference that we went to. I reviewed old files from our previous tour planner to see what companies that we had appointments with, to see if we had worked with them in the past and what they might be interested in the future. So that was really cool. And we actually had 33 appointments for the Heartland Showcase, and we received a lot of interest in Berea. We actually had a group tell us that Berea is a bucket list tour for them. So it's really interesting to see how many people were not just interested, but excited to come to Berea and see what we had to offer. And then my third week with the city, so just this past week, I did go through Old Town to make more artist connections based on what we found out from the Heartland Showcase. We had some interest in a fabric quilt type tour of Kentucky, so I met with the Family Tree, Little Ray's Fabric, so Brittany there, and then Rebecca with the Old Town Fabric to see if they could set up somewhat of a demonstration for these quilters, or maybe set up a class with Liz to let them make a craft to bring home. And we had a lot of positive feedback from the artisans, and they said they would be willing to work with us. So that's exciting to get that feedback from them. And then I have also been creating custom itineraries for these tour groups when they come through. What are we going to do with them? Based on what was shared with us at the conference. And I've emailed those sample itineraries out, and we have already received a few emails back in hopes of maybe planning a tour, or at least a day in Berea, so that's really exciting. And that's really all I have for you guys today. Do we have any questions?
Any questions? You did well. Thank you. Appreciate it. And welcome.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One question.
Going back to your quilt class and so forth, this is, I think Becky might mention it as well, but I'm not sure. This is National Quilt Month for March. So we have great quilters. They don't give themselves enough credit in our town, but I appreciate you going out and working with our local artists, our quilt makers in Old Town, to really help highlight themselves, their history, and their businesses as well. So quilting is where we first started with, and you go all the way back in years of arts and crafts. I mean, hand quilting was everything. So to see it still stay alive and vibrant, I think that's absolutely great, and I appreciate you stepping out and doing that. And can you share with us what your takeaway was from your first conference of the motor coach tours? What was one piece that really stuck with you that made you happy?
I really enjoyed creating those connections with not just possible clients that we could have or guests coming to Berea, but also other people in this profession, the tourism. That was really interesting to, make those connections and kind of get some tips and tricks on how to excel in this position, as well as, just keeping those connections to almost a partnership per se. So, if we had a lot of interest in not just Berea, but Kentucky for the tours, so to be able to work with other group tour planners, we'll stay in Berea for a few days, then move on to the next town, working with the tour planners that way. That was really interesting.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Emily. Next on our agenda is our media manager, Becky Brown.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am our media manager, Becky Brown Hurt. I started at the beginning of January, and I feel like I'm finally getting settled in. That being said, we have a lot of exciting things coming up. Feels like they're all happening at once. But something that is important to me is to go out on the streets and go into small businesses and say hi, take pictures. This is an opportunity for me to get updated content for our social media. So I'll always provide you with a list of who I visited that month. Like Donna said, I think National Quilting Month is this month, so I'm definitely going to make my rounds to everyone who makes quilts and as well as sells quilts and make a post for that on social media. I've got media projects completed, current, and future. I'm going to touch on some current ones. Like I said, we have a lot of exciting things going on, such as the Craft Festival is coming up. We have L&N Day coming up. L&N Day will coincide, of course, with the car show as well as the Summer Solstice Craft Festival that will be held on the near the Log House Craft Gallery and College Square. So we are marketing that, of course, as a citywide event. So I have that on my future projects, but we actually already went ahead and started on that because we've got a planning meeting coming up for it. The Festival of Learn Shops is coming up in July as well. Liz and I have been working on the Enchanted Spring Learn Shop series already. She's got her March ones coming up next weekend, and we will continue with that Enchanted Spring marketing theme for the April ones as well. And we've started discussing themes for our Festival of Learn Shops coming up in July too. But all of these things, of course, will need posters and rack cards. So I've started on those, as well as a few other rack cards, like a meeting venue rack card, a gallery hop rack card, just as these will be resources for our tourists when they come and visit. We also have some ads coming up with the Lane Report, as Donna mentioned, so I'm working on designing a full-page ad for that. Our social media, I've included a few charts and updates on that for you all. We have increased followers on Facebook and Instagram, and you will see our numbers continue to grow and grow even more because we have started retargeting ads through RPM, our advertising company, Right Place Media. We have started retargeting ads in March. Those will run through June, so you will see an increase there on our Facebook and Instagram. Constant Contact, that is our newsletter. So I've been doing a monthly newsletter as well as a weekly newsletter. Like Donna said, I'm trying to stay as up to date as possible on all of the events going on in town. People can always email me those as well, becky@visitberea.com, but I do try to stay updated on everyone's social media pages to see everything that is going on in town. Our open rate and click rate went up in February. Our highest click rate, which that is when if someone opens the email and they've got a link to Learn Shops, they're clicking on the link to the Learn Shop and it's taking them to Eventbrite where they can register. So I was very pleased. Our most successful click rate email was our early bird Learn Shop email for March. It had a 10% click rate. And then our most successful open rate, which is just when they receive the email, they are opening it, was Berea Biz, and that was came out on Monday the 26th. So the weekly ones come out on the Monday of every month. Something that I'm trying to kind of dig deeper into is our most active times and days on Instagram and Facebook. So that's what you've got there. That's our most active times on Instagram. You can see on the weekend it changes a little bit. And the weekend is actually our most active time because people have more time to sit on their phones and scroll online. If you are interested, this chart of our audience, age and gender, and also what city they come from, that comes directly from Meta. Meta Business is kind of where I schedule our Facebook and Instagram posts, and it's that's what provides us with all of our insights and analytics and that type of thing. So you can see our cities change a little bit on both Facebook and Instagram. So on Facebook, our number one city of our followers is Berea, but on Instagram, for example, it is Lexington. I've also been studying which content has a higher engagement. For example, I've noticed that if I post the outside of a business along with whatever I'm trying to post, that increases engagement. For example, if I'm posting pizza from Papolino's, if I put a picture of the outside of Papolino's and a picture of the pizza, that increases the engagement. I think it registers with people quicker when they're scrolling. Oh, that's from Papolino's. People are visual. And then at the very end of your report, you'll see this was an ad that I designed for Travel Host magazine, and that has already been submitted, and I believe will be in the April issue of that. So, do you all have any questions for me? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Becky. Well, now, do we have any public comments from anyone? I think we had one person scheduled and they stepped out. Any commissioner comments or questions from the commissioners in general? Any questions?
I'll just kick us off and we can go around the room here. I want to say welcome again to the new commissioners and a very appreciative comments again on Rick Thomas for joining us and seeing us through all those years. So we thank him very, very much for that. So thank the ladies for all their good work and their reports, because it takes a team to really pull off all the things that they're out there doing every day for our community. So people don't really realize until you listen to everything that they're out there doing, what is involved all the way around the city. So thank you each.
I just want to say welcome to the new commissioners, and thank you all for all the efforts and everything. And I'd really noticed over the last few weeks, been watching like the website and everything, and the new links and everything on there. That's really nice and everything. I think that'll be helpful for potential visitors and everything. So yeah, thank you all.
I'm saying welcome to our new commissioners. I know I mentioned I've eaten at the Speakeasy, I think twice now, and then we've worked with Alex before to help do some outdoor activities with our guests at Boone Tavern. But it is exciting to see all the articles being written about Berea. It's always great to see, multiple sources recognizing what we have in this town. So that's always very exciting. And I know I've been to a few of those travel showcases too for Boone Tavern, and it's always fun to, like you said, meet the people who are attending as well as the other, travel agency, travel people. So.
I don't have anything. I would just ask our new members to give us a little comments about themselves when in their closing comments, and thank the crew for all the hard work they do. Appreciate that.
Welcome the new commissioners. I want to also thank Aaron and his staff for our last event on Sunday that we had with the Boone Tavern. It was a great event. Thank you for your help. For Emily and Becky, are you aware there's a sewing club also in Berea that does a lot of quilting? They're all volunteers, and they meet every Friday in a building down on Scaffold Cane that's owned by Berea College. And I know that one of the ladies that's that volunteers there, and she goes to the meeting. She's currently working on a South African queen quilt. It's really neat, and she happens to work for me part-time. So I will try to email you and send you some additional information, since it's a quilters month, and that might be helpful.
I want to say thank you to everyone. It's great to see the talent and passion that the entire staff has, as well as the other commissioners. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity. And a quick little summary. My name is Alex Sipple. I am a local and have been for a very long time. I own Get Outside Kentucky, which is recreation based. But with that, we've kind of been connecting to all kinds of different local businesses and organizations within our area to bring more tourism, education, and other aspects of that to our local town, to bring more awareness to Berea and the micro tourism that we have in our region. So I'm again extremely grateful and looking forward to everything we can do. So thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Logan Bertrand. I'm the owner of Bird Speak Cheesy and Bird Speak Cheesy food trucks. I'm internally grateful for the opportunity that Ms. Donna and the mayor have given me. I hope to make make a difference in this community and bring something different to the table with my knowledge in food trucks. So I look forward to working alongside you guys, and thank you for the warm welcome.
Okay, I just would like one more closing comment to echo what Donna said. You know, Rick Thomas has been an extremely diligent, and creative, and thoughtful person. He was a very thorough individual, and he could find things that you just overlook. And I really appreciate working with him, and I think his contribution to the town has been and to the area has been huge. Greatly enjoyed that. And do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there anyone opposed to adjournment? None opposed, so this meeting is adjourned.